Hello, welcome to The Cutting Room, the movie show from all the right movies. I'm John, and I'm here with a couple of wise guys. That's Westy No-Nos.
Hey! No-Nos, like.
And Matty Two Times.
Hello, good to be here. Good to be here.
Very good.
This episode, as you can probably guess, we're getting into one of the biggest directors' biggest films as we talk Martin Scorsese and his gangster epic, Goodfellas.
Mm-hmm.
Westy, this was your choice.
It was.
Not a surprise, really. You've been breaking balls for decades.
You just gotta stop busting balls.
I'm busting them. Go and get your fucking shine box.
So, why Goodfellas then?
I want to be very favourite. It's long, but it's not boring. It's complicated, but it's not confusing. I loved when I get the opportunity to watch this from start to finish, because it's one of them films that it's just on. Like if I'm doing the dishes or something, I'll put Goodfellas on, because it's never disappointing in any stretch of it. But when I get a chance to actually sit and absorb it from start to finish, I can't believe how good it is. There's not a part of it that I don't like, not a second of it I don't like, not an inch of it I find boring. I think it's an absolute masterpiece of cinema and an absolute masterpiece of filmmaking. It's Scorsese's best for me. So yeah, why not talk about it?
Lovely. Nailing your colours to the mast immediately there.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's coming. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, we were always going to get here at some point, surely.
Yeah.
We've got Scorsese, one of his most beloved films, big names in the cast, big names in the crew, big names on the soundtrack, based on a bonkers real-life story.
We owned the city. I mean, we were princes of the city. We were. No matter where the fuck we went.
And Goodfellas, they make bloody good frozen pizzas as well.
Chicago town for me.
All right, also good.
Yeah, also great. At 2:30 in the morning. When you're shadow boxing in the mirror.
And we're going to talk about all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Maybe not the pizzas, or maybe, who knows?
Maybe, you never know.
But yeah, the question I think is, why wouldn't we talk about Goodfellas?
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah.
And Matt, Goodfellas,
Yep.
you're a pepperoni man, right?
Oh, love a bit of pepperoni. Anchovy as well, you know.
Oh.
You put anchovies on this thing and you're in big trouble, okay?
You're the only person who's ever said that.
Probably only
In the
ever will
pizza
be as
oven
well.
head first for you.
Yeah, Goodfellas, well, look, no one's going to argue Scorsese isn't a legend, one of the two masters of American cinema, and this is his gateway film. If someone came up to me and said, never seen a Scorsese film, but I've heard about it, where do I start? This is what I'd pick.
Absolutely.
I mean, as brilliant as they are, I wouldn't pick Taxi Driver or Raging Bull because I don't want to terrify them. So I'm not saying it's his absolute best. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it's the one you start with because it's so easy to watch.
Okay then, make that coffee to go, because it's Goodfellas.
And it's a matter of respect.
Becoming entangled with the mob in 1950s New York, Henry Hill lives his life as a wise guy and climbs the ranks. Starting as a lifestyle of luxury, wealth and respect, Henry's life spirals out of control through cycles of violence, jail time and drug addiction. Better than living your life as a schnook though, surely.
Absolutely. Who wants to do that?
Released in 1990, Goodfellas was directed by Martin Scorsese, written by Scorsese and Nicholas Pileggi, produced by Warner Brothers, and stars Ray Liotta as Henry, Robert De Niro as Jimmy Conway, Joe Pesci as Tommy DeVito, and Lorraine Bracco as Karen Hill.
Yeah. What a cast.
So, as we always do, we're going to be talking in some detail about the direction, the writing, the cast, our own highlights, and then we'll give Goodfellas a rating out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So first, it's the director. And what a director. Yeah. It's Scorsese. Marty Scorsese, one of the most acclaimed Hollywood filmmakers, and prior to Goodfellas, he'd made some of the great films of the 1970s and the 1980s.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
We're talking 90s Scorsese though. So, question for you, Matt.
Who the hell do you think you are? Frankie Valli or some kind of big shot?
I wish. No.
Don't we all?
So do I.
Scorsese here, it just feels so effortless. Like, he could have made this harsh and gritty like Mean Streets, but he doesn't. And it's very deliberate because everything in this film looks and feels really cool because it's about seduction. It's about Henry being seduced into the lifestyle and the audience getting seduced along with him. So all the songs are upbeat, it's about having a good time, they make you want to dance. All designed to make you go, this is cool, this is just brilliant. This is a ride. Like, we are designed to enjoy pace, and this is paced like an absolute rocket. But the thing about Scorsese, like, whenever he gets criticised for being violent, I think, yeah, but he's also very famously Catholic.
Quick, you have to cover that cross.
And he understands morality and right from wrong. And more than that, he understands that for Goodfellas to work, he's got to make that lifestyle too seductive as us, as it is for Henry. So throughout, you get this really interesting tension where Scorsese is showing us this lifestyle that looks so fun. Hanging out with your mates every night, drinks, women hanging off your arm, loads of money. But it all comes at a cost. And underneath it all is that nagging sense. This is wrong.
Now take me to jail.
I think you have to be sincere in both those beliefs, and that's why it works. And that's why so many imitations of this film don't work. Because they don't understand how complex that morality is of the lifestyle and the consequences in the way that Scorsese does. And I think that's why so many people love this film, and I also think that's why they do get so annoyed that, like, back when it came out at the Oscars, Scorsese didn't win Best Director and Kevin Costner did for Dances with Wolves instead.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Kevin Costner, The Dances with Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, Scorsese bringing this A game, losing out to Kevin Costner for Best Director is madness.
Yeah. Costner's debut as well.
Yeah, straight in.
And even earned the stripes.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of Scorsese's most acclaimed films critically. It's one of his most popular films generally. And to me, it's the definitive Scorsese film for a few reasons. Obviously, there's the subject matter, gangland New York.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
There's the major collaborators, De Niro, Pesci, editor Thelma Schoonmaker, director of photography Michael Ballhaus, themes of violence and masculinity. Huge soundtrack of 50s, 60s and 70s pop songs. All that is classic Scorsese. But also, this is the one where Scorsese throws everything he's got at the screen. He unleashes like his full creative arsenal on us. So we get freeze frames, we get voiceover narration.
You know why? It was out of respect.
We get tracking shots, we get creeping POVs, there's focus pulls, we get dolly zooms, there's jump cuts, characters break the fourth wall.
And now it's all over.
We get harks back to old Hollywood where Scorsese takes shots directly from his influences. He goes even further back than old Hollywood at one point. And the result is a period piece that pulls you into the world it's presenting as effectively as any other film set in a specific time period I've ever seen. As good as any other Scorsese film for me. His definitive film, like I say. And when you see footage of him on the set as well, he was having a wonderful time making it.
Yeah, he's having a great time. Having a great time.
Okay, good. We jokes.
And Wesley, Scorsese for you?
Yeah, like I said, this is my Scorsese film. Like you've both said, it's his definitive masterpiece, and I think it's because he brings all of his influences to it. Especially the fact that he grew up literally in New York. His best friend was the son of a mob boss. He couldn't play outside because he had bad asthma, so he had to stay inside and just watch films. I think it's fantastic. He brings such a pace to this and such an energy. I know Jules and Jim was a massive influence on this. It's like a French film from 1962. If you watch that, the pace and the energy in that film, the freeze frames is in there, the voiceovers are in there. He's bringing French cinema to Hollywood in 1990. It's just absolutely outrageous. And he knows what he's doing, and he's so confident in what he's doing. I mean, he tied Liotta's tie.
Yeah.
Just to get it right, you know? And even it's just to that level of detail is fantastic.
Yeah. Those collars that Henry wears are crazy. You can't even see the tie.
I know, it's brilliant. But it was his mum and dad, Scorsese's mum and dad, actually in the film.
Yeah,
but offset, they were doing the ironing, they were pressing the collars, which is fantastic. And actually, some real life mobsters were actually hired as extras on some scenes, which again just adds the authenticity of it.
It does, yeah. Apparently, the mobsters gave Warner Brothers fake social security numbers, and no one knows how they actually received their paychecks.
Fucking brilliant. Scorsese just like that, just flicking 20s at them. There you go.
Absolute chancers, these wise guys.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't observation. This is, like I said, he's lived it and he knows it, and he's letting us see it from his point of view, and what a point of view to see it from.
Well, Scorsese became interested in doing Goodfellas when he read Wise Guy, a non-fiction novel by Nicholas Pileggi, and he wanted to adapt it. We've got more on that later, but originally Scorsese was told that he shouldn't make Goodfellas by a Hollywood legend.
Okay.
You know who that was?
Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tried to persuade Scorsese not to make Goodfellas and said that he'd just be repeating his work on Mean Streets and Raging Bull.
How wrong he was.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
What's it got to do with him?
Exactly.
He's a fucking bum. He could have been a contender. What's he on about?
Could have been somebody.
And Scorsese should have said, I don't think you should do Island Dr. Moreau, but you still will.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely acknowledged as a classic now, but at the time,
Yeah.
the studio actually quite wrote about it because they had really bad test screenings. They had one in California where they had 70 walkouts because of the violence in the film. And then another one, the film team had to hide in a bowling alley because there was an angry mob after them.
Really?
Yeah.
Walkouts in the first 5 minutes once he stabs him, probably.
Yeah, apparently the first screening Scorsese went to, he picked up a comment card at the end, and all it said was, "Fuck you."
That's a compliment,
Go
isn't
get your
it?
shine box.
Yeah, go and get your fucking shine box. Yeah.
Yeah. And the preview response as well from Warner Brothers, it was the lowest scoring they'd ever had. And Scorsese just said, you know what? The numbers were so low, it was actually funny.
Okay.
Yeah, but the studio thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And actually, we're calling Scorsese the director of Goodfellas, but there was one sequence he didn't direct at all.
All right.
You know which sequence I mean?
No.
I do. Is it the Maury's hair advert?
All right.
Yeah.
Maury's wigs don't come off, even underwater.
That was the first thing that was ever shot. That set the pinnacle for Goodfellas.
Yeah, it did. So yeah, the Maury's Wigs TV commercial. Scorsese was inspired by a really low-budget TV ad he saw for a window fitting company. So he rang the company and spoke to the owner, a guy called Stephen Packer.
Homeowners, stop throwing money out old windows. Put that money back in your home with new Alco windows.
And Scorsese asked who did the ad, and Packer said, I did. I wrote it and shot it myself. So Scorsese commissioned Stephen Packer to write, direct and edit the Maury's Wigs TV ad.
That's
which
amazing.
is why it looks so authentic.
It looks fucking excellent. I love it, mate. It's like it survives hurricane winds and the lasses like kiss his cheek.
Maury's wigs are tested against hurricane winds.
He's jumping in the swimming pool backwards with the money. It's
it's
so
great.
good. It's brilliant.
Maury's wigs don't come off unless you're being throttled by Jimmy Conway with a telephone cable.
Got to talk though about the famous Copa shot because you know it's so integral to the film, following Henry and Karen through the balls, the Copacabana. But it was so precisely choreographed; it had 400 timing moments that they had to hit.
Bloody hell!
And actually, it didn't take them that long. They only needed 8 takes. And Scorsese has gone on record said, "Well, this is the point where it signifies Henry and Karen being seduced into the lifestyle."
Wow!
Yeah.
Every time you two. That's the bit.
Oh, no.
I love
That's
it.
fucking great. It's great. It's like, it's brilliant. It's the whole film, basically. It is the mob. It's like you go in the back door and you find the workings of it and it's glitz and glamour on top of it.
Also, have you noticed that Henry and Karen walk through the kitchen door and after that they turn left, then basically walk around in a full circle and come out the same door they went in?
Oh,
No, I didn't notice it. What's like the shine?
Yeah, it's like China. Yeah.
Henry's had too many lines, I think.
Yeah. Could have got it in 6 shots if they hadn't had that in there. Yeah. But right at the end of that shot, when they're in the seats, the camera pans from Henry to Karen to the stage where we see a comedian called Henry Youngman. Just before the camera pans, Henry points to the stage. It was actually a cue for Larry McConkey, the camera operator, because Henry Youngman was an old guy with great gags, by the way.
Take my wife, please.
Try the kitchen. And he would miss his cue on a few of them. I think that's probably, imagine getting to that level of it. You've done it 6 times and he misses his cue. Bless him, he must have felt like dog shit.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful moment in the film when you know that. And he kind of goes, that's you.
Yeah.
And
but
it's like he knows him, but it's almost like he knows him as well. So it really works for the scene. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah. It's not in the book either, the Copa scene. Oh, well, it is, but it's literally just a few lines. And Scorsese turned those 3 lines into this incredible 2-minute tracking shot.
Right.
Some director.
Oh, yeah. Those ways doing.
Ridiculous.
Also, obviously, we can't not talk about the music.
Yeah.
No.
Goodfellas is scored entirely by killer pop songs. Yeah. And I know that in choosing the song, Scorsese set himself 2 rules. First, the words of the song had to describe the scene. And second, the song had to be released at or before the time the scene was set, so it feels authentic. And I mean, Sunshine of Your Love by Cream as Jimmy's contemplating murder. That riff is a monster.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely massive.
Yeah.
I didn't think you could make that song any better.
I know.
But he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He makes every song better by putting it in one of his films. It's just like, wow, I like The Who now. The live version? Why?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, obviously Layla as well, that montage when the bodies start turning up, that's incredible. But what Scorsese did was he played that song on set so the camera operators could move in sync with the music, which...
Yeah,
I mean, you can tell.
Because they're all slow pushes, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're all
it's
like
great.
the reveal,
Yeah.
and he wants that reveal to come in at the right time. It's that piano coda. I always forget that's on Layla as well. When I'm listening to Layla, and that bit kicks in, I'm like, is this a Goodfellas soundtrack?
The only track that I don't like is Sid Vicious' version of My Way.
Oh, but he couldn't get it though, could he?
He wanted the Sonora version, obviously. He couldn't get it,
Yeah.
so for some reason decided to use one of music's most loathsome characters instead. That's a bit of a misstep, to be honest, for me. But Scorsese's direction throws everything he has at Goodfellas, which is a lot. And he's our best director for that year.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
absolutely. For 1990, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. It's a buffet and you want to eat everything twice.
And we're at the end of part 1. That's far from it, though. Check out the rest of the episode where we'll be talking about Goodfellas in even more detail by analysing the writing, the main cast, our highlights from the movie, and giving our final ratings out of 10 for the film.
Yeah.
So we'll see you there.
See you there.
Yeah, bring your fucking shine box.